Hey guys, this is Abba with CoffeeNCode. Today we're going to be looking at interfaces. In the last video we looked at abstract classes. Please click on the banner above and come back to this video. So just a quick recap of the last video. We had a dog and a cat class that they both inherited from the animal class, and the animal class just had some private variables and a function that just simply printed the name of the animal. And then we inherited from the animal class to the abstract animal, and the abstract animal contained a print name function that was abstract, which means that it didn't have a body, and our child has to specify the body using the override keyword. And then we had a public void sleep that contained the body, which is why we don't see that function inside here. So now we're looking at interfaces. So if we just comment out this abstract class for now, and we can create a public interface, and we can call it iAnimal, and open the curly braces. And instead of inheriting from the abstract animal, we can change that to iAnimal. So interfaces are used so you can tell the classes that you inherit from what functions you want to create. So in this case, we're going to have a print name, and we're going to have a sleep function. So we can start to put these inside here, and we can type them like we normally do. So now we've declared our two functions like we normally have, with no bodies, but we're still getting an error. So the interfaces, they only care about the return type and the function name, so we don't need to include public. So then we can take them out, and now we can see we have void print name and void sleep. And if you had a function that returns a string, for example, then you could have the function declared like this. The name of the return type first, and then the function name, and then if you wanted to, you could put in some parameters in here should you need to. So we're just going to stick with print name and sleep for the time being. So now we have a red underline here, and it will just tell us that it does not interface. It does not implement all the interface members, and the one that's left over is sleep. So then we can put that in, public void sleep. And then we don't need to override print name anymore because we're not inheriting from the abstract class. So then we leave it like this. So now that these two functions are available inside here, this has happened because we have inherited from iAnimal. And what this means is we've specified two functions that we want all classes that inherit from iAnimal to contain. And if we create another one, then we'll automatically get a red underline here, and then we can click on implement interface, and then it comes up here, and then we can just change the contents inside here. And it's that simple. So interfaces are used to define structure in your program and to make sure that your classes will always have the functions that you need inside of them. The perfect example for this is if you're making an animal or a person class or anything you want to make sure that your interface contains all of the functions that you want to include inside, because if you forget to include one of the function declarations inside the child class, the program won't compile. It doesn't collaborate with the interface perfectly. Every function that's specified inside the interface must be specified inside the class that inherits from the interface. So make sure that you first design your program using the interfaces so you can tell all of the classes that inherit from it everything it needs to know about the functions it's using. Interfaces are really good because you can avoid missing functionality inside of your classes by making sure that all of the functions are specified in the interface. Now we can start to chain these should you want to, because the same goes here. If we have a void sleep, then we can put it inside here, or we could just inherit the abstract class as well. So we can chain these. So we can uncomment our public abstract class, take the abstract animal, and let the animal inherit from it, and then let the abstract animal inherit from the iAnimal. So now we're getting an error, and the reason is we don't have void something inside of here. So actually we could just remove that and remove it from inside here. Okay, so now to fix the couple of errors that we've got, we already have a public void sleep, so we don't need a public void sleep here. And because we had the abstract print name here, we need to just override this one. And now everything should work fine. So what it becomes now is you kind of telling the abstract class that you need to have these two. And if we comment this one out, for example, it's going to complain and tell us we don't have that. So then we can actually implement it abstractly which is exactly the same as what we've got here. So we could do it this way, so we can make sure that our iAnimal interface contains all of our correct functions, and then our abstract animal can determine which functions need a body by the child class and which functions we can give a body because they're going to be fixed like this. So just a quick recap, we have our two child classes of the animal class, our dog and our cat class, that do pretty much exactly the same thing, they just have different noise outputs. We have our animal class that just inherits from the abstract animal, and we have our properties plus our function. Inside the abstract animal, we have the exact same contents as the last video, except this time we're going to be inheriting from iAnimal, which contains the two functions that we need. In the next video, we'll be looking at enums. I hope that made sense. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.